No, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
How do you,
Computer.
uh, that's fine. So remembering is fine. But how do you prepare for the interview if you don't remember topics? How will you prepare for the interview? Okay. I don't know how you want to prepare. So if you keep forgetting things, I can't help you in anything. Okay. All right. Okay. So hello everyone. So today we are continuing with our manual testing course, and we already discussed about this topic, which is very important. We have already discussed in our previous lessons what is cross browser testing. Okay, the name itself says cross browser. Okay, so it means something, it is related to the browser. Okay, now related to the browser. So there might be different scenarios. We perform different kinds of testings that we all know, right? So we perform regression testing when a build is released, second build is released. We perform retesting on the defects. We perform smoke testing when first build is released. Right? So depends on the requirement. We do our testing. Okay, because that's your job as a QA. You need to test, right? But based on the customer requirement, you cannot simply test, right? This application is working and say you sign off. No, you will be testing based on what? Based on the customer requirement. Whatever is customer asking, you will be testing according to it. You will not test based on your understanding. Your understanding should be based on customer requirement. Correct? Now, now we have requirements, right? So we do have requirements where based on the requirements we keep testing. Where do we find the requirements? We find these requirements in the FRS document. Now, FRS document will have uh, all kinds of requirements. Right? Now, what are the all kinds of requirements? The developed application should work properly. Right? Let's say if you are developing a web application, might be a Gmail, we have taken an example, or Aadhaar card, we have taken an example, anything which is which we generally call as a web application. The name itself says web application. So what it means? It means it will work on the internet, right? It will work on the internet. People can access people can access that application on the internet on a web page. Right. Now this web application, one of the one of the requirement of the customer is that this web application should work across across all the browsers. This is one of the requirement. Another requirement, it says it should work in all operating systems, right? It might be Mac, it might be Linux, it might be Windows, and it should work in multiple devices. Okay, so keep in mind this is the basic requirement of any web application. Customer, customer can expect. Customer can expect this application should only work in one particular browser, or this application should work in only this particular version. My application should only work on Windows. My application should only work on device like, what is the device? Is the laptop or mobile, right? Now let's say we have the requirement like this where all the should work in all the browsers, right? So what will you do when you wanted to when you want to test a web application, whether it is working fine in all the browsers, what will you do? You will open Chrome, right? And you access the application and see how it is responding. Correct? And what do? You verify the compatibility. This is very, very important. Word compatibility. What you verify? You verify with the Chrome or with the Firefox or with the Safari or with the Edge, XYZ, whatever other browsers. What you check, how the application is behaving in these browsers, whether it is compatible. Compatible, it says. How the application is working in Chrome. How the application is working in Chrome. Hey, Satish. Satish, you there?
Yes, Vinod.
Satish, where is this guy? His name, Venkata?
Hello.
Where is Venkata? Venkata
Venkata.
is working with you, right? He was working with you, correct?
Gangadhar.
Yeah, his full name is Venkata Gangadhar. So, Gangadhar,
Yes, Vinod.
Where is he?
He is Lingampalli, sir.
No, I'm not asking in which location he is. I'm asking why he did not join the class.
I don't
Task
know.
is given.
Yeah,
Task is given, then you'll skip.
I don't know, Vinod.
Okay.
You just joined. Hello.
Go on mute. Okay.
You know,
It's fine.
just now he has
Yeah.
joined, Vinod.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Now imagine class. So why do we test? Why do we test the application on all the? Why do we test application on all the browsers? To verify whether it is compatible. Okay. In other words, we call this as a compatibility testing. Okay. In other words, we call that as a compatibility testing. Right? And what is the purpose? The first one is what? What is the purpose of CBR? Okay, CBT, cross browser testing. One is we check the compatibility. Right? Second one, we check how it is, right? How the UI, UX elements, right? How the website is displaying, how the UI, UX. And UI UX is something UI is something which is called as user interface. How the user interface is displaying. Is there any inconsistencies? Inconsistencies. It means whether particular text box is displaying properly, whether a particular text is displaying properly, whether a particular image is displaying properly, right? Anything which is related to the user interface, the look and feel of the application is correctly displaying in all the browsers or not is the second purpose of cross-browser testing. Okay. And what is the third one? What's the third one? You have to make sure, right? You have to make sure that all the major functionalities, right? Where all major functionalities are performing uniformly across all browsers. Okay. Now, what is the third one? When it's a major functionality, example, if it is a payment gateway, like if it is a payment scenario, it should work properly. It should display all the uh, the payment solution, payment related features, all the payment options correctly, right? Browser should not get freeze. The browser should not stop performing, right? So it like this, the major functionalities are working consistently, uniformly in all the browsers. Is the third purpose that we do cross-browser testing. This will be very, very important interview question, guys. People will ask, what is cross-browser testing? What is the importance of the cross-browser testing? So why do we perform cross-browser testing? What is the requirement, right? So this is the requirement. This is the requirement, and this is why we do cross-browser testing. Any doubt that what you have discussed?
No, Vinod, it's clear.
No, Vinod.
Yeah, right? Okay. So why CBT is so important? Okay, why CBT is so important, right? Generally, what happens is users access these websites, right, through different devices like laptop, desktop, and mobile. So we have to make sure that user experience is more important, right? Whenever is whenever user is actually whenever user is actually whenever is user is actually using our application in any format, you should get a smooth experience. Correct? You should get consistency in using the application. You should get all the UI UX features displaying correctly. So what is the output of overall this? What is the overall output of this CBT testing? It means, right, customers business will increase, right? Yes or no? Whoever we are actually developing the application, if it is a commercial example, e-commerce, for him, if this all functionalities are properly working, if that application is properly working in all the browsers, in all the operating systems, in all the devices, what is the output generally? The customer will get more business. Customer will get more business, right? Do you agree? Customer will get more business or not, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, any doubts that what is we have discussed so far?
No, Vinod.
No doubt, right? Okay. Now let's come back to this requirement. Now we understand what is cross-browser testing. Now we have this requirement. What is the requirement now? So we have to test the you have to test an application, our application with respect to all this browsers, all operating system, and all mobile and laptop devices. Now we have types of CBT. What is the types of CBT? How many times we can do cross-browser testing? One is local or physical device. Correct. Second one is the cloud-based. Cloud-based. Now these are all. There are two types of cross-browser testing. Now what is this local and what is this cloud-based? Whenever we have this requirement, right? So example, this application should be tested in Chrome. So what do? You'll take your laptop, local laptop, you will open the Chrome, you'll start testing in Chrome. If Firefox is not there in your system, you will take your laptop in your physical machine, you will install Firefox and you do the testing. Correct? Okay. And you also have Microsoft Edge. You install, if it is already installed, you test it. This is what we do as a local physical device. Okay. Now, an example. Now, customer wants, along with the Chrome, Firefox, and Edge, I want a Safari. Safari also should be tested. And in the operating system, he wants also a Linux or a Mac operating system to be tested. And he wants not only laptop, he wants on the mobile, how is his application is working is also be tested. Now, in this case, what happens? The company, right? Wherever we are working, let's say you're working for XYZ company. In this case, they have to purchase, right, MacBook where Safari can run. They have to purchase along with the Windows, they have to purchase other operating system so that the testing team can test cross-browser test on this Linux platform. Along with the laptop, they should also purchase laptop mobile, right, where the application should be tested. Okay. One project they got, they purchased MacBook, they purchased operating system, one operating system, and they have purchased, example, uh, let's say OnePlus phone they have purchased. Customer wants this application to be tested on OnePlus phone. Okay. Now that project is successfully gone, successfully completed. And second project, what happened? Customer wants not OnePlus, he wants his application to be tested on iPhone. Correct? And this time in Safari or in Microsoft Edge or in Chrome, let's say you want a specific version. Example, the browser version 345 example. We want that application to be tested in a specific browser, specific mobile phone, now this time iPhone, and specific operating system. Let's say instead of this, it is a Mac. So every time, whenever a customer is coming up with new requirements in terms of this environment, this XYZ company has to purchase different things, different environments, so that the testing team can perform cross-browsing testing on that environment. It is a cost to the company, right? It is a cost to the company. Every time they can't spend it. That is where people now, everyone is moving towards cloud-based testing. Cloud-based testing is a CBT, cloud-based cross-browser testing. Now, what is cloud-based? It means somewhere in the cloud, right? Somewhere in the cloud, who is providing this cloud-based? They provide a one platform where people can switch from OnePlus phone to iPhone, Mac to Linux, Linux to Windows, Safari, Firefox, Chrome. They can just change the browsers in one click. Instead of purchasing this whole environment, they can only have one cloud-based license just for small amount where they can test in every aspect. Every browser in this world is available within that small amount. Every operating system is available. Every phone and every laptop is available on that particular cloud-based. All you need to select what kind of environment you want to test. By doing cloud-based, CBT, what are the what are the advantage? What challenges it will overcome? It will overcome, right? This. What are the challenges in this one? In this one, which will overcome by cloud-based, right? So in physical machines, we have limited browser. It means in Windows, Safari cannot be installed. In Safari, in Safari, Chrome and other will not work because Mac will only support Safari. It has a limited physical devices and availability, right? What is the second challenge? Is it time consuming? Why? They have to purchase Safari, they have to put order online, they have to get that laptop, then they have to install. If something's happening, they have to do a troubleshooting, and they have to securely store this Safari laptops, Mac laptop safely till the next project comes. Correct? No, these are all nothing but the cost of the infrastructure. Right? But whereas in cloud, there is no limited availability. All browsers are available within seconds of time. They can only just change what they need. Hence, it is not time consuming. Within seconds of time, everything is available in front of you. And there is nothing you should purchase in cloud. Everything is provided by cloud-based tool. We have to just take the license. Right? Now, having said that, right? Having said that, we know how to do this physical device testing. We understand. We'll go and we'll open Chrome, we'll open Firefox. If we don't have MacBook, you can't work on Safari, right? You know how to do it on physical device, but how to do cloud-based cross-browser testing. Kavita, can you go on mute, please? Right. We know local how to do it, but we'll understand how to do our cloud-based testing. Okay. Now, to do the cloud-based testing, right, we have to take the cloud services by some vendors. Okay. Now, what are the cloud-based tools that are there in the market? Okay, which will help us to simulate, right? Simulate is nothing but the original. It will make you feel that you are really working on an iPhone. You are really working on OnePlus. It clearly shows that you are working on Chrome. Just change the browser to Firefox. It will switch to Firefox. No installation is required from your side. Everything is available on cloud. Cloud team will take care of all those things. Now, who else is available in the market? One, a vendor called BrowserStack. Okay, we have a vendor called BrowserStack who provides these features. It supports almost 300 real devices. It supports all the browsers. You can test live browser. You can do live, open the browser, do your live testing, and come up with the issues. So BrowserStack is one example vendor who can provide this. So another one we have Lambda. Okay, Lambda test. Which is similar to the BrowserStack, but the features offered is limited when we compare to BrowserStack. And we also have Sauce Labs, right? We also have testing bot, and on last one, if I remember correctly, there is a CBT by Smart here. So these are all the popular cloud service providers. Okay, cloud service vendors, or you can say popular uh, cloud service providers, where we can use and perform the cross-browser testing. Now, let's have an example, right? I'll show you how to do on one browser stack. Again, I leave up to you. If you want to practice, if you don't want to practice, it's up to you. My job is to show you how to do it with one example. Okay. Now, let me stop sharing and open the browser for you. Let me know once you see on the screen what you see.
Google Home please.
Browser.
Google browser.
Google.
Go here and type browser stack. Okay. Now, what you see on the screen is the browser stack website, which is a cloud-based tool or application which will help us to test the cloud-based browser testing. Now, this is not free of cost, guys. This is not free of cost. This will give you a free trial version where you can practice quickly and record the videos and keep it for yourself, because you will not be able to access again, or you have to give again new email address. So everything you have to do it on your own. Now you have to create a free trial. Click on free trial. Now you can sign it with your Google ID or Google email ID. I've already created it. I'll just go and sorry. What was the question? Any question, guys? Who was that? Someone was asking. Who has allowed Koti? Koti? Rangadhar?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What happened, sir?
No, sir. No questions. I didn't ask any question.
Have you completed yesterday what we discussed?
Yes. Yes. Some case of pending is there, sir. Actually, didn't attend the previous classes. Yeah. But today itself, I will complete that.
Guys, can you see the screen browser stack now? Where it shows that it is asking for creating an account, right?
Yes, we know.
Yes.
See, right? Now, what's included in the free trial? Okay. See, free account will give an instant access to the real devices. It means we want to test any real iPhone, real OnePlus, real Android phone. It will give you whatever version you want to test. It gives you 30 minutes of interactive browser and mobile app testing where you can interact 30 minutes for free, because it is a free account. It will give you 100 minutes of automated browser testing where you can actually use the automation writing the scripts. This will help give you 100 minutes free of cost. Same thing with mobile app testing. It will give you 5,000 screenshots for visual test, because there is a new feature which is added where you can take the screenshots also. Yeah. So create your user, which is a free account, and sign in with it. Okay. Now, let me go back and say sign in. It's my home page, browser stack. See, live. And let's wait page to be loaded completely. Okay. Now, what is here on the screen? See, so you have app and web, right? Web is something where you're going to test your application on a particular web page. But what is app? App is something where you're going to test your app on a particular mobile. Okay? Now, if it is web, right? Let's close this. Okay. Now we are in the web, right? Live. What you need to do, so whatever application, right? Whatever application you are developing, whatever web application that you want to test in a particular browser, right? Now, say this, it has Edge. You can see here, it has Firefox, it has Chrome, it has Opera, it has Yandex, another browser is a Safari. Now, we have discussed, right? If you want to test your application in Safari, I don't need to purchase any MacBook. I can just take the browser track license. I can get everything in one place. If I go and select this version, it will generate, like it will open, see here, starting Real Safari 5.1 in Windows. Now it will open a Safari web page. It will allow you to test your web application inside the Safari browser. I told, right? It says switch browser, correct? Now I can switch from Safari to another web page, another browser. I can switch from uh, browser to Chrome, Chrome to Firefox, Firefox to another browser, right? This is taking time. Let's do another example. Chrome. Please remember, this will have only 2 minutes for you to test because it's a free account. It will not have more than. I can go here and open my app. Example, let's say we are developing an Amazon application. Okay, let's take an example. Now I can open the Amazon page here inside Amazon application. Now I can browse. I can test whether this application is working properly in which browser now? Chrome browser. I can see how the items are displaying. I can see how the product pages are displaying. See, it is saying your session will end in 8 seconds. It is because it is a trial account, it will not give you much time to enjoy the benefit. Okay. Now, example, if I want to go to a Firefox, Opera, right? Right, Opera. Now it will open the Opera for you. It says here only 1 minute it is allowed. So you have to very much quick enough to understand what is going on. Try to take some kind of a screenshots if possible. It will be helpful. Now Opera is open. Now if I want to open any other application, right? I can open it. I can test it. If it is a Flipkart example, like the Flipkart. Okay. Now I can open the Flipkart. I can start testing this application. Okay. Now if somebody wants to buy a subscription and to perform a detailed testing on the applications, they can purchase. It's up to them what kind of subscription they wanted to purchase. These are the different plans available. Right? Coming back to the dashboard. Now I can switch. Now these are the Windows, right? Now this is iOS. This is Android. This is Windows. This is Mac. See, Mac also it has so many browsers. Okay. So this is a trial version which will not allow more than what it is shown here. And we saw a browser, right? You can play around with the browser. Let's do another test on the app. Now, let's say you want to test your app. Right? We have a lot of apps in the Play Store, right? If you are developing the app and if you want to test a app, whether it is working fine or not. So what we do, we go to this browser stack or some tool, whatever your company has purchased. Correct? So I'll open here and I'll go to the app live. Example, now it is showing, see how many Android rival devices are there. These are the Android rival devices. And go to iOS rival real devices. It has lot many options. So I think we'll go with Android. Now I want to, let's say, your client or customer said, my app should be more compatible on OnePlus. There are different versions. See? No need of purchasing physical iPhone, physical OnePlus, right? No need of purchasing different versions of the OnePlus. All here, just take this license of browser tag, and you can get everything here. Now let's say I want to go to OnePlus 9 version. See here, physical rival device is opening with the version of 9. See, OnePlus 9 version 11. This is how your phone looks like. Now click on it, just click, right, and see how your application is working in the mobile. I'll go here and example, if I want to open the Google, whether the internet is properly working fine, I'll see here. Let's wait. It will open the Google search engine. Now Google has opened. Right now I can search. Yeah, it is timeout. It is not allowing. Each device is available up to 2 minutes of the free trial. Like this, you can go to any device. Let's say if I want to test an iPhone 15, now iPhone 15 will be loaded. Now 2 minutes is available. Now iPhone 15 is ready. Now I can go to any browser, anywhere. I can and play around with the application. Okay. Anything. If I want to go, I can go to the internet and go to the Google page, right? Click on in. So, right. So if you have more time, then we can go and install our application, right? And we can see how our application is behaving, right? On real iPhone. What is the version? What is the version? It is iPhone 11, or sorry, iPhone 15 we have done, right? For example, this is a Amazon, right? For example, you are developing an Amazon web application, and also we are developing Amazon mobile app. Now we are testing, see how your mobile, how is the Amazon app working on the mobile device, that too on the specific device, which is iPhone 15. Now see, this is a real serial number also there. This is a real device which is in this location, Mumbai. So, but it is a cloud-based version. Right now, we can browse through and see if your application is working properly. So there are lot many options here in your left-hand side, but most of them are only available for the uh, people who pay for the subscription. Okay, so you can switch the device. See here, see how easy it is moving from iPhone to iPad. See, there's iPad version also here. Now it is says end in 10 seconds. This so good, right? It will help you to perform mobile app testing. It is helping you to perform browser-based testing. That too on a different browsers. Okay, this is how you switch between these two, and it has lot many options, right? You can test management is there, bug capture is there. Once you have this license, you can do many things in this browser stack. It is very helpful. Okay, so today this is your this you should be putting inside the resume. Cross-browser testing, you know, with the physical device, you are capable of doing the help of cloud-based, that is browser stack. Just keep practicing, though it is 2 minutes. You should be explained more what you have done, right? What you have done on the web application, what you have done on the app to test your application. Okay, this is very important. Of course, we do not have much time for the practice, but I think this example will definitely give you enough knowledge. And the way I have tried, right, 2 minutes, you open it and take the screenshot of this. You open this, you take the screenshot of this. Let's say you want to do a web, click on live, take a screenshot, and you prepare your notes. That what people will ask you. Have you ever done cross-browser testing on a cloud-based environment? You should say yes. I've done on browser stack. Then you'll ask, what all fields available in browser stack? Can you tell me what is the process? Yeah, you log in, you go to dashboard, it will show web and app. If you want to test your web application on the browser, you'll go to web, you'll click on web, you click on live. There is the windows which displays, right, with the all the browsers. You have to tell in the interview as if it is in front of you. All the fields are in front of you. So these are the different browser names. These are the different versions. All you need to do is just select a particular version. Here it is Windows platform, Windows 11, Windows 10, right? Windows 8.0, Windows XP. These are the operating systems. These are the browsers. If you select Windows 10 and browser Opera, these are the combination guys. So this is the operating system that you are selecting. On the operating system, you are installing the browser, cloud-based browser, which happens in the backend. The moment you click on browser, right? See Windows 10. If you click on Opera and select version, it says it launching. So the cloud-based system will will install and make it ready within seconds for you. Okay. So take all the screenshots and prepare basic notes. That will be helpful when you go for the interview. All right. Any doubts in the cross-browser testing, guys?
No, we know this clear.
No, Vinod.
Address, please.
No, Vinod.
No, we know it's clear.
Now it's clear.
Right. Great. That you don't have doubts. I'm glad. Okay, what is that next? Okay. All right. Okay. So how many life cycles did we learn so far? How many life cycles did we learn so far?
Software development life cycle.
SDLC.
Only
SDLC,
SDLC.
Well,
SDLC.
Satish.
Mm.
Very good,
Cycle.
Satish. I really
Different life
appreciate
cycle
that.
also.
I don't know how others are not responding at all. Really, Satish, I wanted to appreciate. I see that you are very prompt in answering, and the way you are doing the task, the way you dedicatedly working, asking doubts. That shows your real commitment. Yeah, appreciate that. I expect similar from others, but yes, again, it's up to you. How do you want it to do? It is you are learning it, so it's up to you. How do you want it to? Yes. Okay. We learn software development life cycle. Correct. We learn
Yes.
bug life cycle. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Vinod.
Correct.
Yes.
Life
Yes.
cycle or
So we
defect
learn
life cycle.
Yes.
Defect life cycle.
right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Bug life cycle, defect life cycle are both one and the same. Right. Now, I already told you, right? We will be discussing more life cycles in future, and the one which we are discussing right now is very, very important one. In software development life cycle, in which phase you come into picture as a tester?
In testing phase.
Testing.
Testing.
Testing
In
phase.
testing phase.
Excellent. In the testing
Test.
phase,
Testing this.
you will come into picture. Correct? Right? That is where your actual work starts. You will start writing test cases, you will test, execute everything. Correct? Now, like every project which comes into the organization will undergo a complete development life cycle. The similar fashion, that project has to undergo a software testing life cycle. Okay? It means how the project is tested will be explained in the software testing life cycle. So in the interview, people will ask you what is a software development life cycle and what is a software testing life cycle. These both are very, very important for the interview perspective and also for the real time to get you a job. Software testing life cycle is very, very, very important life cycle because that is where you will be rotating throughout your life in the software testing life cycle only. Okay. Now, what is that we are what is that we are learning right now? Let me share the screen. What is that we are learning right now?
SDLC.
Software testing. Right?
SDLC.
SDLC.
Software testing life cycle. Yes, it is called as SDLC, right? Which is in line with the QA. Now we know what is QA. Yesterday we discussed little more deeper understanding what QA performs. Right now, like software development lifecycle, SDLC is also a sequence of activities. sequence of steps, sequence of phases, which is conducted, right, during the testing process. So why do we conduct? What is the agenda of SDLC? To make sure that quality product is delivered to the customer. Correct.
Yes.
And what is the agenda of the SDLC? Why we do this many stages? To make sure that the application is meeting the actual requirements of the customer. So that is where we test an application. So we have 6 major phases in software testing life cycle. What are those? One is requirement analysis, test planning,
Test planning,
Test planning,
Test
test
development,
development,
environment
environment setup,
test
Environment.
execution,
Test
test
execution,
closure.
test closure.
test closure.
You should be buttify this all stages: SDLC, bug life cycle, STLC, test case template fields. These all phases should be on your fingertips. How many phases are there in STLC? 6 phases. What is the third phase? Test case
Test case
development. What is the last
development.
phase?
Test case
closure.
Test
development,
You
closure.
should buttify.
test closure.
Yes, you should
Test
buttify.
closure.
You should buttify this all phases. If someone is asking you at the midnight, hey, what is the third one in the STLC phase? You should be able to tell it is test case development.
Development.
Because you will be working in all the phases. Unlike in SDLC, you'll only work on the testing phase. But in this testing life cycle, you'll be working in all the phases of the testing life cycle. Correct? Now, we know what is the first stage, right? Requirement analysis. Requirement analysis, right? Now, it is difference between what happens in SDLC, what happens in STLC. See, once SDLC comes complete only, then STLC starts. STLC will not start first. Please be attentive on this. First is the software development lifecycle. First, the requirements are collected. First, it is developed. Okay? Then only your project is ready for the testing. Now, what we are learning is how to test a particular project, how to test a particular application which is under development. Another new terminology we call is make a note. It is always good to have one pen and paper. Whenever you listen a new word, just write it. No, don't need to prepare a lengthy notes. Just to write a short note. AUT, application under testing. Okay, people we call AUT is nothing but application which is under testing. Now, what happens in the first phase? As it says, QA will interact with the various stakeholders. Now, what are the stakeholders? This is the official term used in the IT industry. Right? Stakeholder is of 2 types. 1, internal stakeholder. 2, external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders are the stakeholders which are directly impacted by the project outcome. Again, QA interacts with the various stakeholders. This is very, very important line. Please make sure you understand this very carefully. QA interacts with various stakeholders. Again, stakeholders are 2 types. 1, internal and external. So, internal stakeholders are the stakeholders who are impacted directly on the project outcome. But external stakeholders are the stakeholders who may be impacted indirectly on the project outcome. Example, let's say, metro rail is getting constructed, right? Right now, there are a lot of areas, metro phase 1, phase 2 is going on. Correct? Who are the internal stakeholders? It doesn't mean that stakeholder should be spending money on the project, then only he calls as a stakeholder. No. Stakeholder is someone who use that application, use that facility. Now, who is the internal stakeholder? The person or the management who is constructing the metro. And who is also internal stakeholder? Like customers, we use that metro, right? That's what I said. Internal stakeholders are the one who is directly impacted by the project outcome. Management. Once the metro rail is successful, management is benefited by money. They get more projects, more money. Customers like us, we are using metro rail project. We are directly impacted. Our traveling time is reduced. You can happily travel in metro in anywhere in Hyderabad within less time. We are directly impacted. That's what we call as an internal stakeholders. What are the external stakeholders? External stakeholders are the one who are indirectly impacted by the project outcome. Who are indirectly impacted? The cab drivers and the auto drivers. Because of metro is being laid, customers stop using autos and cabs. People are preferring more metro. That's where they're not getting enough customers who travel by auto and cabs. These are the indirect stakeholders. Now, when it comes to software world, IT industry, QA should interact with all the stakeholders. It means it should collect the requirements, correct, from client. Client is the main person who gives requirements, and also BA. Very, very important because he is the one who actually collected the requirement in the SDLC phase. System analyst is a person who played important role in analysis phase. Technical lead is a person who prepared the technical design document in the third phase, correct? And a development manager who has actually, or a development engineers or a developers who are actually played an important role in developing the project in the fourth phase. Correct? As a QA, your job is to interact with all these. Once you have the FRS document in front of you, you have to go through all the FRS documents and you have to talk to all these people. Hey, client, I'm a QA from this project. So I understand these are the requirements. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are these the requirements? Do you have anything else in your mind? Customer says, yeah, no, these are the requirements. Good. Thank you. Let's start the work. You'll go back to BA and say, hey, BA, hi, I'm being appointed as a QA for this project. I understand there are 10 requirements on the project. Are you on the same page? Do you know there are only 10 requirements? Yes, both are on the same page. We'll go to system analyst, like vice versa. You'll talk to all the people and make sure that whatever is given to you as a requirement, those are correct requirements. Okay. And at this stage, as a QA, right, or a QA team will take an important decisions. What kind of testing types should be applied? Whether customer wants black box testing, customer wants non-functional testing, customer wants only manual, customer wants automation also. Automation, is it feasible? And those important decisions are made in this requirement analysis phase. Any doubts in this phase, guys?
No, sir.
No, Vinod.
No. No.
Sir, what is the meaning
Yes,
of
please.
stakeholder, sir?
Sorry, what is that? Yeah?
What is the meaning of stakeholders?
Who was it, guys? I gave you. Were you not
Hello.
listening? Who was it?
Koti Dayawala, sir.
So
Am I
you
audible?
are not listening. You're audible. Are you listening to this class?
Yes, sir. Listening, sir. Yeah, I have got doubts, sir. What is the meaning of a stakeholder?
Yeah, correct
top
only.
management.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that your doubt is not, I'm not saying your doubt is invalid. You should say that, sir, I did not understand what is stakeholder. Please, can you explain once
Yeah.
again? But your question
Yeah,
is
yes.
what is stakeholder? It means you are not listened at all when we are discussing.
Yeah, listening, sir. But I didn't understand that term also.
Okay.
Stakeholder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe for benefit
Oh.
of doubt. Okay. The stakeholder, every person in the company, every person working in the project, related to the project, directly or indirectly, those are called as stakeholders only. Okay. Now,
Okay. Sir.
customers are your stakeholders. Your project team is the stakeholders. Whoever worked in SDLC process is the stakeholders. So you have to collect the requirements from all the stakeholders. From the project management point of view, it's not related to you, but as a PM who manages the project, right? He will be maintaining stakeholders register. It will have list of all the people who will give the requirements. Okay. As a PM, you should also work on people who are indirectly working on the project. Example, for QA, it is important. Example, you're working on an e-commerce platform. You're developing an e-commerce website, correct? Now, e-commerce website will have a payment system where you'll make the payment. For the payment system, for the online payments, we have to integrate with the third-party servers like POS machines, Pay is online sites where they provide online services. You need not to develop anything related on the payment gateway. They will provide a link to the developers. They'll link the application to their payment gateway. So automatically, whenever any customer wants to make the payment, it will direct the page to the payment gateway. Now here, internal stakeholders are the people who are working in the project. External stakeholders are the vendors who are providing service to your project. Now, like vendor who is providing a payment gateway, you have to collect the requirements from the payment gateway team also. Now they might be having few doubts, right? How the request is coming from our end, because we have test the payment system also, right? Let's say if you want to purchase, customer has selected 100 rupees. Whether 100 rupees is properly paid to the customer or 100 rupees is debited from the customer account. How much extra charges are debited? This all you will be testing in the real time. So you will be talking to the third party vendor and you'll be understanding what are their requirements from them. Okay. So yeah, let's not get into too much details. You will be confused. At this stage, please understand requirement analysis is analysis where you keep all your requirements ready and you make some important decisions like what types of testing you're going to conduct. You know what are the different testing types. You know what are the different testing techniques, whether it is a black box testing, white box testing. Whether this project is also tested both manually and automation. Automation feasibility is there or it is not there. As a QA team, senior team will make these judgments. Okay. Any confusion on this space?
No,
No,
Vinod.
no.
Okay.
Clear.
Next phase is
No,
very,
it's
very,
clear.
very
No,
important phase. Okay. Next phase is very, very important, guys. Test planning. Please be attentive. Don't put on earphones and do your personal stuff. This class is very, very important. This session is very important. This topic is at most important. And this stage is at most very, very important. This is where you do your planning. Now, test planning, the word itself says test planning. It means you will plan your test. Now, you have two things, guys. One, people who are showing 4 or 5+ years of experience in the resume, for them, test planning is important because you are the one who is going to plan the test. Okay? 5+, 6+, 7+ years people. But people who are 2+, 3+, you are the one who will be following the what has been planned by the senior folks or your manager. Now, test planning is something will be planned what we need to test. It is the simple definition. It tells what needs to be tested. Now, has it? Who is it just? Yeah. Is there any network issue? I mean, you guys are dropping and again joining back, maybe. Is it? Test planning, right? If someone wants to plan a test, there should be a proper procedure, as the slides is saying, right? Test planning is done based on one document. It's just very, very important, guys. Please make a note. This will be your pakka interview question. Definitely, people will ask multiple questions on this topic. What you see on the slide, people will ask. Let's say if your interview is, people ask the 10 questions in the interview, 5 questions will come from this particular slide and whatever we are discussing now. Definitely, 5 questions will be asked on this topic. Okay. So, test planning, if someone wants to perform a test planning, there should be a test plan document. Please make a note. What is another document that we are talking about? Test plan. What is the documents that we studied from the beginning? Can quickly someone tell me? Right from the
FRS.
beginning, how many kinds of documents?
FRS,
FRS, very good.
SR.
Very good.
SRS,
SRS,
Technical
Yes,
design,
we
doc-
are.
technical design
Bug
document.
TDD.
technical design document, excellent.
technical design,
DTD.
Come on. Yeah. Go ahead. Next,
Bug
come on.
report.
TTD is done. Next,
Source
bug
code.
report, excellent. Source code is not a document. Source code is a code actually.
Okay.
Okay, but we are source code document SCD is also there. No problem. Yeah, correct.
test
Source
case
code document.
template,
SRS.
Very good. Test case template. Test case template. Very good. Next, what document
RTM.
did we study?
SRW,
Very good.
traceability matrix,
RTM.
SRW.
Very
RTM.
good. Traceability matrix. Traceability matrix. Very good.
HLD,
HLD.
low LD,
Very good. HLD. High level design. LLD. Low level design. So please
SOW.
make a note of all these documents in your book. Types of documents. Correct? And don't say that you have prepared all these documents. You categorize what documents you prepare, what documents you follow. This is more important. Okay. Now, adding to your list types of documents, test plan is the new document which you're going to add. Now, there are two things. As I said, beginning of the slide, test plan document. Test plan is prepared by your senior QA manager or the team lead who is senior in the project. Don't blindly say, I've prepared the test plan. If you're showing 2 to 3 years of experience, always say that I have followed the test plan, but I did not get an opportunity to create the test plan. But if you are showing 4+, 5+ experience, it is always good to say that yes, I have prepared test plan. To say that answer, you should be thorough with the test plan. What is the test plan? Who prepares it? What are the different fields inside the test plan? right? How it looks like, whether it is an Excel sheet, whether it is a Word document, whether it is a PowerPoint template. How does a test plan looks like? Why do we need test plan? These all things you should be learning in this session, in this slide. Okay. Now you understand this is the second phase. To do the second phase, what document you need? You need a test plan. In this phase, the test plan is prepared by your senior folks. What areas it will be focused on? You can see the boxes highlighted. What to test? Your test plan will tell what are the in-scope items to test. Your test plan will tell what are the in-scope items to test. What cannot be tested is the out of scope. Indirect word is out of scope. What to be tested is in scope. What cannot be tested is the out of scope. Tools to be used, very, very important. Whether this is a manual testing project, whether it is a automation testing project. If manual testing project, what kind of tools we are using? Example, cross-browser testing, right? Yes, we need license. Automation testing, we need particular license. We need a database. We need a particular version, like example, a repo license we need, or any sourcing license we need. So based on the tools that we need, we are going to purchase the license. You will tell that we need this many applications for this testing. We need this license. So tools used for the testing have list of all the tools that are required to perform testing on the project. Resources. Who will be testing what? Satish will be testing payment solution. Or example, Rajalakshmi will be testing this particular area. Or Archana will be testing this. So this might be resources is a generic word. It might be talking about the resources or the team or required facilities will also be called as a resources. It is a generic word, right? Test the duration. How much time is there in our hands? Whether it is a 1 month project, 2 month project, you have 1 week time, 2 weeks time, depends on the project duration. Your manager will tell what is the test duration. Very, very important. The risk and contingencies planning. Now, what is a risk and contingency planning? Risk is something you know, right? There is a negative risk and a positive risk. For all the negative risk, you will be having a plan B. For all the positive risk, you will accept that positive risk. Example, our life insurance. You purchase an insurance plan, you are moving the risk from you and you're putting a risk on the insurance company. Can you hear me? My headphone just dropped. My voice is clear, right?
Yes, we know.
Yeah. So risk, again, it is very, very important. For the project manager, risk is very important. As a tester, risk is very important. So you have to, your experience comes into picture on identifying those risks in advance. Preventive risk is always less costly than correcting a or corrective action on the risk. Okay. Example. One simple example. Example, you are working in the project. Okay. And you're planning to execute 100 test cases tomorrow on a particular date. And you've been getting an emails that from the IT team that particular environment, it's a QA environment. QA environment will be down for 2 to 3 hours on that particular day. Okay. And you are plan to execute 100 test cases on the QA environment on that particular day. But the IT team is sending you a reminders that that particular day is a scheduled downtime of an QA environment for half a day. Being a senior resource, senior tester, you should proactively react, right? You should think, hey, there is a date on which I'm going to execute the test cases, but IT team has sent an email stating there is a downtime. You cannot keep quiet and continue, let's see what happens. On the day of the downtime, definitely the application will be, QA environment will be down, and your manager is asking, hey tester, have you completed the test cases? What is the report? Can you share me the bug report? And you are telling, hey, sir, I'm really sorry. I could not execute the test cases because QA environment is down. Your manager gets frustration, right? He'll show you frustration. Why? What happened? Bloody IT people, IT, they cannot shut down just like that. And you'll blast the IT team, infra team. Then he'll write an escalation email to IT service management. Then IT service management, they'll come back and say, hey, sorry, we never knew that there is a test scheduled. But slowly when they drill down, they come to know that this communication was already given to your team 1 week in advance, but your tester did not reacted properly. Then when they zero in on it, they'll identify that the culprit is the tester who did not reacted, who did not prevented this by changing the alternate date for executing those test cases. This was one of the real example where while I was working in the value labs, this was an escalation which I did not agree with the IT team. And nicely tester has skipped the test cases and he went away without letting me know that that was not executed properly. He just emailed me stating that QA environment is down, hence thing cannot be progressed due to this. Then I went to this IT team and had a very heated argument. I was escalated to the delivery team. Yeah, so then I identified that this particular QA resource was not proactive in his work. Okay, yeah. So these are the major areas: what to test, what cannot be tested, tools used for testing, resources, test duration will be our major focus. Okay, now we saw bug report, we saw FRS, we saw RTM, we saw test case template. We also saw how does your technical design document, HLD document, what is being there. Now let's look at what is the test plan. Let me stop sharing. Open the test plan for you. Sure. No one to see on the screen. I want to see.
Yes, Vinod, we are able to see.
Everybody see, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now this is actually very confidential one. Somehow I got it from some source, but remember this point's very important. Test plan is a Word document. It's not a Excel sheet. Test plan will be prepared in the Word document only. Right? Who prepares the test plan? Test plan is generally prepared by lead or above. Okay, but trust me, as a 3 years experience, if you tell I have prepared test plan, it is really appreciate. It is really a good work. People will be impressed. Interviewer will be impressed. But telling that word is not at all important. But you should be able to talk about this document, right? I'll share this document to you guys. Do not circulate to anyone. For your benefit, you can have this document and prepare for the interview. Now, what are the areas of focus? If you come down, it has who has prepared the document. Okay. Now, see here, we talked about versioning, right? You remember yesterday we talked about auditing, right? Version 1, version 1.1. Why there was a modification? It is initial draft. There onwards, there was some modification, and QA has updated the schedules and build schedules. That is where version 101, now it is changed to version 1.1. Okay. Now, once the document is prepared, who will be the authority, approval authority? Project manager. QA manager will prepare, your lead will prepare, the project manager will be the approval authority when it has been approved. Okay. Coming down, these are the table of content, guys. Very, very important. Certify, mug it or whatever, do or die. You have to remember this. Very, very important. All the fields. What it contains? It contains the introduction. Now, what is the introduction? Project overview. Purpose. What is the project purpose? What are the documents that have been referred? Now, let's come down. This is the project overview. Why the project is actually being developed. Okay. Now, what is the purpose? Why we are actually developing this test plan? Right. Now, if you come down, what documents they have referred? BRS. See? Business Requirement Specification. They also referred FRS, Functional Requirement Specification. So this will be the interview question, guys. Very, very. I'm telling you, please take it seriously. This document, 50%, if you are confident, your 50% interview is clear if you are thorough with this document. Now, what is the first question they'll ask? What is the documents that you need to prepare a test plan? What is the document you need? FRS is the first document that you need to prepare the test plan. Okay. Now, we discussed in scope. It means what needs to be tested is the in scope. See this personal banking. These are all things are the tracking tool, test cases, browser. There should be a quality center, QC. These are all required to test the application. Now, what are the out of scope? Performance testing, unit testing and integration is not part of the scope. It's very, very important. Right? What mean by out of scope? This means this project will not be testing the non-functional testing. Can you call that as a non-functional testing, guys?
Yes.
Non-functional testing.
Yes.
Correct. And unit testing and integration testing is not part of this. So now, what did you learn? Test plan contains project purpose. Very important. What documents you prefer? You refer to prepare FRS. It has in scope. What are the environments? What are the requirements to start your testing? What is out of scope? What are the out of scope where we are not going to perform is one of the things here they have mentioned is non-functional testing. Now this is very important. Next one, assumptions and dependencies. The assumptions is something, right? It is assumption. It may be true, may not be true. Right? Now, see here they have mentioned the main drivers of system testing a function contained within the function. This will be defined the scope of data. This assumed, right? Once functionality from this has been tested, then full coverage has been achieved. Staging server, we discussed staging. Before the prod environment, there will be staging environment. Correct? Now he's saying staging server will be accessible. They're assuming to perform the testing, the server should be accessible. They are assuming, right? But if it is, it may be accessible, it may not be accessible. But these are the assumptions that will be listed down. Now these are the dependencies. Very, very important. Dependencies. Don't look at this. It's all junk data, but understand what is the dependency. Dependencies is something which are two types. One is a software dependency. Two, which is the hard dependency. Soft dependency, yes. If this is not provided, still we can proceed. Hard dependency. If this is not provided, we cannot move further. Example. In order to test, right, the build has to be released. Agreed? To test the application, the build has to be released to the testing team. It's a soft dependency or the hard dependency, guys?
Hard.
Hard dependency. Correct? Without build being released, testing team cannot be doing the testing, which is the hard dependency. Soft dependency, in spite of not providing a particular thing, still we can move forward. Now, another example, the whole e-commerce application is ready, and we are working with a third-party vendor, which is an online payment server, who can provide us the online payment server, right? Where we can both link together and perform the online sales. Now to test the whole e-commerce platform, payment gateway should also be developed and should also be integrated with our application. Do you agree?
Yes.
Without the payment gateway development, can you test the whole e-commerce application? No, right? You cannot
No.
test,
No.
right? You can select, you can search
No.
the product, you can launch the Amazon application, you can select the product, you can input your what you call that as a zip code, you can select number of quantity, right? Now everything is ready. Without making the payment, is it possible that your items are delivered to your home? No. Without checking the payment system, are you telling that this application is tested thoroughly? No.
No, it
It
isn't.
means it means to test the e-commerce platform, to perform integration testing. Remember, we discussed about integration testing. To complete the integration testing, what is the hard dependency? All the functionalities should be developed and working fine. Correct? If anything is not working, example payment gateway, if it is not working, then this integration testing cannot be performed. That's called as a hard dependency. So, like this, there will be points mentioned here. What are the dependencies for a particular project, right? If those dependencies are available, then only testing can be moved further. That will be listed here. Okay. Coming down, now what is the risk and mitigation? Now we saw risk and correct contingency. In IT world, we call in two ways: one, mitigation, or contingency. So this risk and mitigation are your regular using terms in your IT industry. While working, you will be listening, "Arey, there is a risk, there is a risk, there is a risk." It will keep on telling you. So what are the risks senior people who are experienced on this particular domain, they'll prepare some risk and mitigation plan. If this risk is coming, if that risk is very high threat or it is a normal threat. Now, what they have written here, what is the risk? Application not accessible or not responding properly during investigation due to the environmental issue. Is the way is they have written the English is not correct. What they're saying, what they meant, right? The application sometimes it is not accessible, right? While they perform the testing, right? There might be some kind of accessible issue due to what? Due to the environment issue. See, environment issue is something which is a generic word. Environment can call anything, right? Where your operating system is not working fine, your company infrastructure where cyber security or some kind of a downtime is going on, or outside environment where it's a natural disaster, a huge rain due to the power outage, a generator failed, system crashed, everything comes under this. Now, what they're saying, likelihood. What do you mean by likelihood? You will see this one, let me put a white one. This is likelihood. So risk is again, it is measured on two areas. One, how likelihood means how sure this risk is going to occur. See, likelihood something. Do you know this will occur? If it is occurring, what is the impact? Now he has mentioned as low. It means there is a very less chances of occurring. But if it occurs, the impact will be high. Right? If this risk occurs, what is the alternate plan for us? What they're saying, perform an environment sanity check before starting the formal testing. Obtain more IT members to escalate the P1, priority 1 environment issues. See, this is how the risk is mitigated. What they're saying, before the actual test is begin, formal test is begin, let's do a sanity check. It means let's check the high level functionality of that environment. If something is coming up, we'll take the mobile number and the pager numbers of IT team to escalate any P1 issues on the environment. Right? So this is how the risks are written in the risk and mitigation columns. Okay. Moving further. Now this is top important, very, very important. For as a tester, this is the major area where you focus. Now, people will ask in the interview, what is the entry criteria? What is the exit criteria? It means they are referring to the test plan document. They are referring to the test plan document. In the test plan document, you have this feature, you have this column called as entry criteria, entry and exit. It means, in a simple word, entry criteria, it means when to start the testing, right? When you should start testing is the entry criteria. Exit criteria is something when you should stop testing. What all scenarios you can stop the testing? In what all the scenarios you can start your testing is all about entry and exit criteria. Now, what they have written, the following must be in place to proceed with the QA. Now, what are the things they're saying? Business requirement document should be frozen. What do you mean by frozen? It means they're telling once the requirements is given, once the customer has given the requirements, example 10 requirements, that should be freezed. There should not be any change in the requirements once it is agreed and developed. There should not be any change in the There should not be any change.
Documents, right? What is the first condition they're saying? First condition for the entry criteria. First conditions for the entry criteria is, guys, can you hear me? I have just removed the. I don't know, it is showing some error. Is the voice clear now?
Yes, Vinod.
Yes, Vinod.
Yes, clear.
Okay.
Yes, Vinod.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is the first entry criteria? What is the criteria? First criteria, the business document should be frozen requirement. Now, second one, all the requirements that arise are initiated through the change control process. This is very, very broad terminology. In a quick note, what we say is,
Vinod, what
Right.
is mean by the business requirement document is frozen?
sorry, we have just discussed, right? Guys, did we not
Okay.
discuss on this?
Yes, Vinod, we discussed.
Actually, I mean, were you part or there is some network issue? I don't know. Just a minute. Yeah. The business requirement document is the FRS document only. This is another name of, have told you right here.
And I understand what is business requirement, but the word frozen is I can't understand.
Yeah, I told already, but I'll repeat again. I don't know what is the issue, my headset problem or some network issue. I've spoken around 5 minutes for that particular topic only. Frozen is something where your requirements are freezed. There will be no change in the requirements.
Okay, okay, Vinod, I understand.
Okay, now when let's say the customer has given 10 requirements and you have written 10, BA has captured the 10 requirements inside the FRS or BRE document, then BA will take the acceptance criteria. Yes, these are the 10 requirements, customer. We have agreed it.
Yes,
Customer
I
will
got
say
it.
yes. Once they say that requirements are now freezed, there will not be any change in the requirements. The frozen is the word used, right? The ice is frozen.
Yes.
It means that
Yes,
it is
Vinod.
blocked, right? It is not a liquidated form, correct? The same word they have used it, stating that BRA document should be freezed. Now the second one, guys, very, very important. You should be understanding this, but this is more related to the project management. Project manager deals with this, but as a tester, you should be well aware, but as a lead, you should be very much worried of this. There are different stages. For you, it is a knowledge. For a lead, it is a process. And for the project manager, it is a delivery. Okay, now what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this is, now let's say there is a 10 requirements that has been frozen. Now customer, we are testing the application, developer has developed it. Now customer joins in one of the call and say that, yeah, yes, 10 requirements are very good. Can you please add a new feature where the file attachments or image attachments should be added to the compose page. But now the BA or a PM says, no, customer, we have agreed all 10 requirements in which this attachment functionality is not there. Customer says, yes, it is not there. But can you please do it? Now that new requirement should undergo a change control process. It means that new requirement, again, BA will analyze the requirement. Then there will be a SRS document. Then there will be a technical design. And then we'll tell the customer, in order to develop this attachment to new functionality, it's gonna cost you this X amount. Apart from what we are charging for the 10 requirements, right? So that process is called change control process, which will be headed by generally by the CAB. Okay. Generally, it is called as a change accessor board or something. Generally, it is not related to you, but I'm just telling you any change coming on this requirements should be highlighted to the team lead, should be highlighted to the manager. Once the project manager confirms the new requirement, then only you have to add that new requirement into your BRE documents. That is what it means in the entry criteria. Now, this is only two based on this project. There might be more in your project. That's your entry criteria. Now, what is the entry criteria? There are other few. Daily communication in place, test cases reviewed and signed off, cross-functional dependent teams, resource identified. These are all the basic things that generally happens. I'll share this document. You can just go through. It's for your knowledge purpose only. Now, what is the exit criteria? This is also very important. On what basis you can stop testing is the exit criteria. Okay. What basis you can test this? You can stop the testing. No open P1 or P2 defects. What do you mean by this, guys? Can someone try? No open P1 and P2 defects.
Reopen defects, sir.
Reopen to P1, P2 defects.
What is this P1 and P2?
Priority T1,
Priority
P1,
1
P2.
and
Yes, yeah, priority 1 and priority 2.
priority 2.
It means high priority 1, medium
Yes,
priority 2
normal. Yes.
should not be open.
Open.
You heard this word sign off. I told you in the beginning of the session.
Yes.
Sign off is something where QA, if they say QA is signing off, it means
There
the
is no
project can be moved to the production environment.
Production
Okay.
environment.
Now, what is the exit criteria? P1 and P2 defects should not be open. Okay. What is that second exit criteria? He says P3 to P5, which are related to enhancements defect, have a documented resolution plan. It means, see, there should be P3 to P5 tickets, priority 3 to priority 5 tickets, there should be, but there should be a resolution plan mentioned on how we are going to fix this P3 to P5. Okay. Third one, minimum of 2 test cycles is completed. It means 2 testing rounds should be completed. 95% rate of all test cases. It means there can be 5% of defects. Like vice versa. Regression testing should be all defects in QC. These are all exit criteria. Generally, they will be mentioning. For the interview, you can prepare these points. This will be very, very helpful. This is where I will be sharing this document. People will ask what basis you can tell a particular project can be stopped testing. These are the generic points which you can tell in the interview. Okay, you understand what is the entry criteria and exit criteria. So these are all the reports. See, QA deliverables. Very, very important. So far we know what is a test plan. Now we're just seeing it. Now we saw test cases, preparing it. We saw defect log. That is, defect log is nothing but defect report. We saw traceability matrix, right? This is again provided by the project manager, you should not be worried. Exit report is something which is a test summary report or test closure report. Okay, so these are all the QA deliverables. So these are the documents that should be given as a part of project delivery. These all documents should be provided to the customer. Okay, this is a QA schedule. There should not be worried. You should just know that what kind of phases are conducted on what dates. Okay, further, build schedule. We know what is a build. It means build 1 will be start date is this, end date is this. Build 2, they are going to testing start date and testing release, something like that. They have mentioned it. Okay. Now this is a test environment. Now we saw test environment is nothing but also called as QA environment. Correct. This is another name, QA environment. These are the environments. Right. This is the URL. We spoke, right? What is the URL? How the build is released? This is how the build is released. Okay. And he's saying this is the web browser. What is the environment? Internet Explorer 6.0. So what is the test management tool? They're using QC, defect tracking tool. See, QC they are using for the defect tracking. What operating system? It is Windows. What is the hardware related? This is the environment for testing. Okay. Now these are all the high-level test cases. And remaining part. It is not required for you at this stage. Okay. Right. So important part for anyone. Introduction is very important. Scope is very important. Assumptions very important. Entry criteria, exit criteria is very much important. Right. And rest all things you can just study for your knowledge purpose, but these are all very important for the interview. Any confusion, guys?
Vinod, can you just tell me project metrics?
That is not related to you. That's the project manager's job.
Okay.
Project metrics is something, on what basis you tell a project is successful.
Okay.
Now, there are 3 metrics. Generally, project manager will evaluate a particular project is successful or a failure. 1, cost. 2, it is a schedule. 3, it is a scope. These 3 will be verified. Now, how project manager will verify cost? Example, after 1 month of the project tenure, there will be some X amount of budget agreed with the customer, right? So there will be some cost calculation, which will be very confusing for you. I don't want to put you in that confusion. Just understand. Project metrics are the metrics which will help the project manager or the customer to know how the project is actually running in terms of 3 metrics: cost, schedule, and cost. Hope you got some understanding. Archana?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right. So moving ahead, the test plan. Now it is very, very important document where a senior folks in the project, in the testing QA will be preparing this test plan. There will be document like this: master test plan, detailed test plan, master detailed test. There will be different names, but ideally test plan is the document what we saw just now, and you should be thorough in the interview. If someone is asking what is a test plan, who prepares it, have you prepared a test plan, what are the inputs that you need to prepare a test plan, when can you say that a particular project can be started for testing, when can you say a project can be stopped testing, Okay, so what is the risk? What are the risks in the projects? So how do you mitigate that? So these all things are come up in the interview with respect to this test plan and this test phase. So right now we are in the second phase of the software testing life cycle. First one is completed requirements phase. Second one is test planning phase. Very, very important phase as we discussed. Any doubt in overall test planning phase? Any doubt in the test plan document? Please let me know. I'll repeat that particular confusion point once again.
No, Vinod.
It's clear, Vinod.
It's a question to everyone. Please let me know if you have any questions on this particular phase.
No, Vinod.
Oh, it's clear, Vinod.
No,
No, Vinod.
no.
No, Vinod.
It's clear.
Okay. Moving ahead with the next phase. Now, now we know what we, we have studied what is a test case, correct?
Test case.
Right. So where we write the test case in the test case template, correct?
Correct.
Excel law.
So we'll write the test case template in the Excel sheet.
Excel sheet.
Right? We'll not write the test case in the Word document. It's very important. People will check how genuine you are. Whether you're fake or a genuine, people will question. Okay, you should be always be attentive, always understand what is a question first. Okay, now in this phase, the testing team will write down all the test cases. It is very simple to understand, no question in that. Prepare the test data. Now, this is important word, test data. Any data which is used to test a particular application is the test data only. Right? Example, if you are
Vinod, your voice is not clear, Vinod.
okay, oh sorry.
No, it is.
Is it fine?
Yes,
Yes.
it is fine.
Okay.
Yes, it is fine, Vinod.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
Sorry,
what I was
sorry.
saying is,
You're able to see only Word document screen, sir.
document.
Yeah, you're able to see only Word document screen.
Okay, okay. Now,
Yes.
Development.
all right.
Test case
Yes,
development.
it
Yeah.
is fine.
Right. So right now we have completed the second phase and we have moved to a third phase, which is a test case development. Now we know in this phase we are preparing the test cases. We know what is a test case. We are prepared, right? And few people did not prepare. That's a different story. But people are prepared. Now they understood what is a test case, how it is prepared, what is a template, what are the fields available in the template. When you go for the interview, you should buttify those field names without fail. Now, importantly, the second step is what prepare test data. Any data which is being used while testing your application is called as a test data. Before testing the application, now example, now let's imagine our company is developing a passport application. Just some example. Now that application is under development. Now that application contains, let's say, hundreds of fields: name, date of birth, father name, mother name, your address, last 10 years address, your other names, mm, so your criminal history, your medical history, everything you need to enter. Okay. Now, let's say there are 100 fields. Now, so your manager said, hey, tester, please test this application and let me know if there are any bugs. Now, the tester says, sir, how can I give the report within 1 hour or 2 hours? This is a huge application. I need to enter a lot of fields. Then manager will say, where are you sleeping? Were you sleeping all the time? As a tester, don't you know that this is a passport application, which is hundreds of fields? Before application is released for the testing, you should have prepared the test data ready. If your test data is ready, you will just copy and paste inside the application and you should have tested within 1 or 2 hours. The reason why I'm explaining you this point is, as a tester, you should know what is the test data. As a tester, you should know how to prepare the test data. Especially automation testing team should know more about the test data because they will prepare the test data inside the Excel sheet, inside the notepad. That sheet or notepad is passed into your automation scripting, where automatically data is picked up from the Excel sheet and the testing happens on the application. But with respect to the manual testers, they should also be preparing the test data well in advance, which will save your time on testing the application when it is released to the testing team. Hope you understand now the importance of the test data. Moving ahead with the next one, we have already discussed whenever the test cases are prepared, it is reviewed by the peer members. See on the screen, PEER, I'm pointing out. Peer members is your colleagues. Let's say now we are all working in one project and I'm your QA manager, you are the QA resources. One among the other are the colleagues, right? I'm also your colleague, which is called as peer colleague. You can also send me the review for the test cases, or you can assign your test cases to the other colleague for the peer review. This is the generic process. People will understand in the ask in the interview, what is a peer review? Have you ever done the peer review? It means he's asking whether you have reviewed any test cases of your colleague and how it is done, right? So you should say, yes, I have done many peer reviews in my past experience. Reviewing whatever work has been done by my colleague is the review process. Now, once it is done, right, once the test cases are developed, very, very important term, you will be mapping, right? You will be writing those test case numbers once the requirement traceability matrix is prepared by your manager. Yesterday we have discussed one requirement will have multiple test cases, right? Now you see the requirement traceability matrix is prepared. The RTM is an industry accepted format for tracking requirements where each test cases is mapped with the requirements in RTM. We can track backward and forward traceability, right? We have discussed yesterday what is forward RTM, what is backward RTM, and what is a mapping. Mapping is something you are connecting both your FRS and RTM. How are you mapping? You are writing you are writing requirement 1, you are writing test case 1. It means to the requirement 1, you are mapping the test cases. It means all the requirements are covered in your test cases. Now, what is OOB thinking? OOB is a generic word, is used across all the technologies. Very, very normal, very, very regularly used word. Out of box. Out of box thinking. It means think differently. Think how to break the application. Think how can you find out those defects which are lying somewhere in the application where nobody can see. How you can find out the defect. Your manager should appreciate, hey, how did you identify the defect? Yeah, that is really wonderful, right? So identifying small defects that everybody can do. What we meant OOB is think beyond what is there. Think how to find out if there are any underlying bugs inside the application, which is nothing but out of box thinking. Any doubts on this test case development, which is a third phase, and what we do here is a test case development and mapping of test cases to the RTM document. Any doubts, guys, here?
No, sir.
No,
Oh, we know.
no, we know.
As of
No,
now,
sir, it's clear.
okay.
Okay, moving ahead with the next phase, which is test environment setup. Now, the name itself says setup. It means before we execute those test cases in the previous phase, now we are ready with the test cases, right? Now we have to run those test cases on the application which is released. Now you should have a QA environment. How do you open that URL, whatever they are sharing? Where do you open the URL? What are the system requirements? Customer wants Safari browser. Is your Safari browser ready? Customer wants this, customer wants this Linux operating system. Is Linux operating system ready? Or customer wants this specific mobile, which is iPhone 14. Is your mobile iPhone 14 ready physically or cloud-based? Doing all those activities is nothing but setting up the environment. Now, what is the first one? Besides software and hardware conditions under which a work product is tested. Now, what do you mean by that? It says, is your software and hardware which is required now to run a particular application? Example, a Java is required. Is your Java installed on your system? To run a particular application, there should be some kind of a example, a RAM should be of 16 GB. Hardware is available. Is your laptop having 16 GB RAM? Are both software and hardware are ready for this testing? Right? It can be done in parallel with test case development phase. So whenever you're writing the test cases, the environment can also be set up parallelly. Because you will be writing the test cases, right? You will not be executing. Once your test cases are ready only, then you'll start testing the application. In the same stage, we can also set up the environment. Generic thing may not repeat for every story. It is something where, we will discuss in the agile environment discussion, agile process, which we'll have in next few days. We'll see what is the story and how it is developed. Right now, it is not important to understand. Let's move ahead with it. Needs to be discussed in sprint grooming. Yeah, these 2 lines, which will be coming in our next discussion in the agile framework, right? Or we're going to discuss on how we are going to implement agile. Everything we'll discuss in detail. So these 2 lines, leave it as of now. We can have multiple QA servers. That depends on the requirement, right? Again, this is not your job to set up the QA server. That's again, the infra team will take care of it. And the project technical team will take care of it. Ideally, this stage is something as a tester, you should know that there should be a server required. How to install, they will take care of. And you should know if server is not installed, if that application is throwing an error, hey, this Apache example, there is Apache server, which needs for a particular websites to up and running, there's Apache server backend it should run. If it is down, then it will show some error. You should know as a tester, hey, my website is my application is not working. Looks like the Apache server is down. Looks like the server is down. So you should know that there is a requirement of a server which is down, but you should not mandatory to know how to set up those servers, how to run those servers. Okay. This stage is very important also because once the environment is ready, testers can proceed further to testing applications. Any doubts in this session, in this phase, please?
No, Vinod. No,
I
Vinod.
have 11 people.
No,
I have
Vinod.
11 people on this call,
No,
and-
Vinod, it's clear.
No,
and 90% of your time you're not talking.
The
99% of the time I am talking, and you're not answering the yes or
ping
no.
may not repeat.
Sorry, what is that? Okay, now the next phase, once the environment is ready, so what we do,
Test
we
execution.
execute those test cases that we have
Test
written,
execution.
right? Line by line, we'll see whether expected result is there, what is the actual result, right? Now the testers will carry out the testing based on the test plan, the test cases prepared. The bugs are reported to the development team. Development team resolves the bugs and system is retested to ensure it is bug free and ready to go live. Very simple explanation, right? We have already studied this. We write test cases. We write expected results. Then we write actual results. Then you say if both are matching, no defect. If both are not matching, you say there is a defect. When you identify defects, that will be reported to the development team. Development team will resolve the defect or bugs based on the priorities the testing team is setting up. Once the defects are fixed, it is back assigned to the testing team. Testing team will test and retest the defects and make sure that all the defects which are raised will be retested. And if all the defects are closed, then that application is ready for go live. This happens in the test execution phase. Any doubt in this test execution phase?
No, sir.
No, Vinod.
No, no, no.
No, Vinod.
No, Vinod, it's clear.
No, no.
This would be your test closure phase. Very, very, very important phase. Again, as we have starting of the phase, we have closing phase. Now what happens in
Ending
the
of the
closing
phase.
Right. Yeah, it says that when we say testing is closed, if you remember entry criteria, that will be your point of contact. Exit criteria.
Exit
Exit
criteria.
criteria, right?
Exit
Yeah,
criteria.
exit criteria tells your
We were
test
confused.
closure
Test
time, right?
closing.
Correct. So when can you close the testing? That will be defined in the exit criteria.
Yes.
And once the testing is closed, these are the following points. What are those? Ensure test completion. Yes, all the test cases are executed. All the test cases failed, defects are raised. All the defects are raised. All the defects are fixed by the developer. All the defects are retested. No reopen. Everything is fixed. Hand over test artifacts. Test artifacts is something which are all documents related to the testing. Now, what are the documents customer is asking? It might be test plan. It might be a exit report.
Test
It
case.
might be test summary report, right? It might be asking the complete defect report. So whatever customer is asking, you have to provide those artifacts. Project retrospectives. Again, this is something related to the project manager. What he will be having a lessons learned document where if there is any issue occurred, how that issue has been fixed, right? That issue occurred and what fixed is made is documented in a document called lessons learned document. If the same issue occurs in the future, instead of struggling what to do, they will refer the document, they'll apply the fix, whatever they've applied last time to save time and money, right? That will be again project manager's responsibility to prepare this project retrospective. It means what went bad, what went good in testing the life cycle will be documented. Archive, test work, products. So again, these are all which is related to the whatever documents is being shared or prepared, those documents will be archived and given to the respective client. That is not your job. Your job is to prepare the test cases, execute the test cases, follow up with the developers, follow the test plan, follow the RTM, and test the application. Okay, so this completes your
Software testing,
software testing
STLC.
Life cycle.
life cycle.
Okay.
Okay, so every stage you should be knowing thoroughly what is going to happen in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. There will be more questions on STLC, testing life cycle, than compared to software development life cycle. Right? You should know as a senior resource what documents are prepared at test closure, what documents are prepared in the test execution. If you are showing 2 years or 3 years experience, you should know what documents you should follow on what phase. If it is in the test planning phase, what document you follow? If you are 2 years or 3 years, test plan
Test
document.
plan document.
If it is a test case template, what do? The tester will select the template and start writing the test case. What happens in the test execution? Test execution, your manager will collect the execution results. How many pass? How many fail? How many fail? What are the defects? How many defects that got raised in the tool? Whether it got raised, developer working or not. Again, right? What is the test closure? It means you have to make sure that the testing is completed with all the respective parameters, all the documents, test plan, test cases, environment setup, FRS, everything was in place, right? And you should have a test summary report that we'll discuss in future. Let me show you if I have a test summary report. Give me 1 minute. Summary. No, I don't have just a summary report, but I'll find out and a summary plan this. Report. Okay. Let me open it. Yeah, I do have. Let me share it with you. Now, this is the what you see on the screen. Let me know what you see.
Excel.
Excel sheet.
Excel sheet.
Right. So, test summary report is the test summary report is the form of
Yes.
Excel
Yes.
sheet. Very important. As simple as that. So what it contains? It contains the overall summary of the test cases. Now, see, this is the admin module. This is the scenario. This is sub-level. Don't bother of thing. Now, this is the tester A. How many test cases he has written? 100 test cases planned. How many test cases executed? 100. Date of execution. How many test cases passed? 90.
90,
How many failed? 10.
10.
Whenever you have 10, then this will have 10 defects listed here. Right? 1, 2, 3, something like that. Test cases ID will be, sorry, test defect ID will be listed here in this column. Got it? So this is the test summary report generally prepared by the senior folk in the organization. Your manager, QA manager, generally lead or QA manager or the senior people. But you should know test summary report is an important artifact that will tell your test cases complete summary. Please add to your list of documents that we studied. Test summary report is also part of your viewing or part of your working document. Test summary. Again, test summary report will be prepared once your testing is completed. This is not prepared in the middle of the testing phase. Once the testing is completed, then only the test summary report is prepared. Okay. Hope that is clear.
Yes, we know.
Yes, we know.
Yes,
Right.
Vinod.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'll not take. Let's not continue. That's fine. So we had covered the important STLC. We have covered cross-browser testing with physical understanding and one cloud-based cross-browser testing with the browser stack too. Okay. So I again request to everyone, irrespective of your personal commitments, please practice raising those defects. And please practice. If you have not done Nulab defect tracking raising and Zoho is having only 10 days of time. Give raise the defects in that. Get familiar with the bug report. Get familiar with the defect tracking tool fields. Very, very important. Practice different applications. Take different applications. Write the test cases. The more you write the test cases, you will be more confident. Trust me, in the company, you will not get time to learn and do it. And this is the time you have to learn and practice. Okay. And whatever is a list of documents that you have made it, get a thorough understanding of what those documents are. I will be sharing today test plan. I will be sharing the bug report, and I will be sharing what other document? Test plan. Was there any other document that I need to share?
Summary.
Test
Yeah,
report.
test summary,
Documentation.
test summary, and test plan, and okay, we'll see if any documents is missing. I'll share it across. Tomorrow we'll try to complete 2 to 3 more important one. Then we'll follow from Monday onwards 1 hour session. Okay. Any doubt for today?
No, Vinod.
No, no.
No, we know.
Oh, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
All right. Hope you guys
Yes,
enjoyed the session. Yeah. Hope you guys
Yes.
enjoyed the session. And
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes,
thanks for
yes, Vinod.
joining. Yeah, thanks for joining, and please continue to whatever you're doing. We'll catch up tomorrow. We'll send out the invite for tomorrow's
I have
session.
one question, Vinod.
Vinod,
Tomorrow
Yeah,
exam
okay.
day, online exam.
hello.
Yeah. Who's sorry?
Anita.
Multiple people are saying Anita. Yes, Anita.
Yeah, you told me that there will be assessment tomorrow, right? Evening or morning, didn't confirm the
Is
time.
it there?
I'm also asking the same question.
Who wants and who don't want it?
Put it in the Monday.
Who wants it or who don't want this assignment?
I want assignment.
I want Vinod Tulasi.
Tulsi, you want? Okay. Next.
Yes.
Anita.
Archana.
Anita, you want? Archana, you want? 3 people
Yes,
want
I
it.
want. I want
Rajlakshmi.
assessment.
Okay. Okay. So we'll see tomorrow. I'll try to conduct the assessment tomorrow in the. So how will we do it? Let's say tomorrow, if it is 2-hour session, example, 2 hours or 2.5 hours, last 30 minutes, you have to share your screens. Okay. I'll share you the questions link. You have to answer it. You have to answer it while sharing your screen, and you have to submit the questions. Is it fine?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
Okay,
to
okay,
you have to
Vinod.
be ready with your laptop. Don't tell me
Yes.
I'm connected on mobile. I have that reason. I have this reason. People give me all very silly reasons. So I will not force you. Okay, I will not force you. If you're interested, you write it. Otherwise, you can leave the session. No problem. Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow.
STLC also involved in that assignment.
What is that question, Archana? Why it is not involved?
No, okay.
Out of syllabus question, huh?
No.
SDLC is out of syllabus.
No. That is main syllabus. But I thought
Hmm.
assignment is on SDLC topics only. So that's why
No,
I.
whatever we have discussed till today, I'll give the assignment.
Okay, Vinod.
And don't tell me, sir, this is out of syllabus.
No,
This is not being
no.
taught.
Not like that.
This is in scope or out of scope. Don't tell me all those reasons. And just wanted to remind, on February 23rd, we will be meeting on Sunday. Please plan your visit on that day, and we'll have a session. What we are doing it now, it is online. We will be doing it offline on that particular day. That's it. Okay. All right. So it's already 11:34. I'll leave you guys. Thank you very much for joining, and enjoy your day.
Thank you, Vinod.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod.
Thank you.